Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for August 24th, 2014. It's currently 8 a.m. and it is absolutely beautiful outside today with temperatures in the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, upper 50s to lower 60s over the New York City metropolitan area, and lower to mid 60s over the Philadelphia metropolitan area with falling humidity as we have a Canadian air mass building in from Quebec right down into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. As a result, we will have clearing skies throughout the day. We do have some low clouds here over eastern Pennsylvania and a few low clouds here in northwest New Jersey. But other than that, clearing skies are in place and we are having a wonderful morning. It looks like much of the week is going to be pretty comfortable and pretty impressive as well, with dry conditions for the most part through the entire week. So let's take a look at the latest surface map. Now, we have a lot of interesting features. One feature that's not on here that will be probably later is we have Tropical Storm Cristobal now that has just developed and is around the Bahamas. We'll talk about that in a moment. Have some very good news on that front. Now here's our high pressure system, and here's a stronger Canadian high pressure system. And what's going to happen today is that this high pressure system is going to build south, force this stationary front further south into the southeast. Meanwhile, this area low pressure is going to be something that we're going to have to keep an eye on for the end of this upcoming week. Not for rain, but for an influence on Tropical Storm Cristobal to kick it right out into the Atlantic. Meanwhile, we have another cold front here in portions of east central Canada that will not have any impacts on us for the most part, but is interesting to see it move through the region only because, well, it's pretty chilly behind this cold front. It's pretty impressive for this time of year. So we have all the players in place to produce a very nice couple of days for the entire region. Of course, on the radar with high pressure and control, not much really going on here, so it's high and dry. Now, what I want to show you is the infrared satellite picture. First of all, clearing skies here. Notice how far this trough is getting. This trough is building south and it's starting to have an influence on Cristobal already and pulling it north. This high pressure system will produce tranquil and comfortable weather conditions through at least the middle of the week, and then it's going to shift off the coast, and unfortunately that's going to mean a return to some warm, I can't really say hot, I mean upper 80s is warm, but it's not like a heat wave. You know, everyone was talking about a major heat wave pushing into the northern Mid-Atlantic. It just isn't going to happen, but we will get warm and humid with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, and higher humidity will feel like the lower 90s for the end of August for about 2 or 3 days before we fall right back into another cool weather pattern. Now let's zoom in on Tropical Storm Cristobal. Now what I did here is I overlaid the observations and the forecast. And the first thing you notice is that this tropical storm is very disorganized. All of the convection is on the eastern side of the circulation. It's starting to grow. Now it's going to be under an area of favorable conditions, so I do think it is going to intensify. Right now, Cristobal has, as of 8 a.m., just about 5 minutes ago, it just came out. It relocated to the northeast, took this little jump here, so it went from here to here as far as the low-level center. It is still moving to the northwest at around 9 miles per hour, has winds of 45 miles per hour, a pressure of 1,001 millibars, which is pretty much average for a tropical storm, and it's about 40 miles to the north of Maigana Island, or 135 miles east-southeast of Long Island. We're already picking up Long Island. So it's clearly a tropical storm that we need to watch, but I think for the most part we will not have to deal with any of the impacts from this tropical storm aside from increasing surf. And if you want to know why, well, let's take a look at the water vapor satellite picture. Now remember what I said yesterday in the video, which finally came up on YouTube. Basically, you have this trough here that should pull it north, which is starting to do. Notice how far south it's getting, and so therefore it's starting to pull it further north. But then what kicks it out is this trough. This trough just digs deep enough to pull this tropical storm, which could be a hurricane by this point, by the middle of the week, and kicks it right out into the northern Atlantic. Now, as far as the pattern overall, it's a big deal because it's going to have a significant impact on the pattern for early September. In other words, if you're looking for hot and humid conditions for the start of September, you're going to be disappointed. because it looks like we're going to have a negative NAO return, which basically is a huge block in the northwestern Atlantic, which leads to a high pressure system right around Maine, which means that we have cool air building down the coast. So Cristobal is going to have an indirect impact on our weather pattern, but not a direct impact on our weather pattern, because this trough will be deep enough to kick it out. And at this point, almost every model, well, actually every model at this point, is suggesting that is exactly what's going to happen. I think we have one or two outliers, if that, in the model suite, and it's pretty clear based on the observations what's going to happen here with this tropical storm. So let's take a look at the latest model guidance using the Penn State UWall website. We're going to use the European model guidance this morning. Again, for today, high pressure is building south, and as a result, we're going to have clearing skies, comfortable weather conditions, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s for highs throughout much of the region. For tomorrow, high pressure remaining in control, tranquil weather conditions. We have a ridge at the surface and at the upper levels, which means clear skies throughout the entire region. Temperatures will range from the mid to upper 50s for lows and upper 70s to lower 80s for highs. On Tuesday, again, high pressure in control, tranquil weather conditions are in place, and with that, we'll have temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 50s for lows, could be a few lower 60s in the urban locations, and lower to mid 80s for highs. Now at this point, we're still near normal. From here on, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll have temperatures above normal by about 2 or 3 degrees. So from here on out, on Wednesday, notice we start to get more of an influence from a ridge off of the east coast, and so we get a southwesterly wind. We do have a weak trough that's going to approach the region. That is our trough that's going to dig far enough to kick Cristobal out into the Atlantic. So on Wednesday, clear skies once again, temperatures in the lower to mid 60s for lows, mid to upper 80s for highs throughout much of the region with increasing humidity, so it's going to feel like the upper 80s to lower 90s. Then on Thursday, that cold front has moved through in the morning hours. Really don't see a major change in the weather pattern overall as far as the air mass, because the bulk of this trough and the bulk of the influences from this trough are focused more towards Canada and towards New England than the northern Mid-Atlantic, which is kind of normal for this time of year, to be honest with you. Now that trough and that cold front picks up Cristobal. You can see that right here. Here's Cristobal right here. Here's the representative of 500 millibars, and here is our trough. And it's going to pick it right up and send it right out into the Atlantic. So as a result, you see a few isolated showers maybe on Thursday morning, but then it clears out. We should have temperatures in the lower to mid 60s for lows and mid to upper 80s for highs. It'll feel a bit humid. Thursday is going to be one of those days that's just going to feel uncomfortable out. Friday, high pressure builds back in. Notice the location of that high pressure system though, from the Canadian Maritimes building south. Here comes Cristobal kicking out into the Atlantic. We are sinking air in place behind Cristobal as a result. Notice that the trough has picked up and started to absorb the hurricane, and at that point we have temperatures on Friday in the lower to mid 60s for lows, mid to upper 80s for highs, but falling humidity through the day. So actually start to feel better as we get into the afternoon hours. Instead of dew points in the upper 60s, they'll be more likely in the lower to mid 60s. Then for next weekend, Labor Day weekend, high pressure in control because we no longer have to worry about that hurricane. So it gets kicked out in the Atlantic. High pressure is in control. We have a zonal pattern for the most part over the United States, which means generally tranquil weather conditions and temperatures near normal for the most part, with temperatures on Saturday in the lower to mid 60s for lows and lower to mid 80s for highs. Pretty much near normal for this time of year. The rest of the holiday weekend, by the way, is looking pretty tranquil for Sunday, with temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s for lows, lower to mid 80s for highs. Again, pretty much near normal for this time of year. And then Monday we might have to watch out for a area low pressure producing some scattered showers. Doesn't look like a washout, but we'll keep an eye on it for Monday, with temperatures again averaging near normal, upper 50s for lows and lower to mid 80s for highs. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.